Hello, and welcome to the GROW Method. It's an infotainment-based show designed to help CEOs, CROs, and their investors think through ideas that help them grow. Today, I'm guessing we've got a few CMOs on as well. My name is Brett Schklar. I'm the CMO and managing partner here at GROW Powerful, where we've assembled the greatest marketing and growth minds in all of B2B technology. We deliver them as fractional or interim CMOs. This is live and it's recorded, so all the good and the bad can come from that. For those of you that are live and you're on this show, would love to have you add in the comments where you're coming in from and what type of things you do and why you're here. Today's topic should be a fun one. It's looking at the 3 different types of fractional CMOs and how to choose the right one. And it came about because I spend a lot of time talking to CEOs, CROs, and investors in B2B tech specifically, which is SaaS, telecom, and others. So please know that my experience comes from, that realm. But we get a lot of insights from talking to those audiences. And so we get that on one side where they're looking to figure out, how to do these things. And then on the other side, we look at the rise of the fractional CMOs. And I talk about this often, but we used to have maybe 750 to 1,000 fractional CMO titles on LinkedIn. Now there's over 5,000. So you can see that this is a movement. It's a supply side movement that's been growing aggressively. And I think the demand side of it is still working, but it is on its way here. So I'm going to talk about that and help you figure out the best ways and the best models to use them to get together. So let's set some ground rules. I kind of mentioned it before. I primarily talk with CEOs and CROs and investors in B2B tech. So that's where my perspective comes from. Let me also point out that while there are these multiple types of fractional CMOs that I'll go into, and I'm guessing even more after I get your feedback from this, there are criteria people typically ask for and demand when they're looking to leverage a fractional CMO. And there's 3 things I look for. And again, this isn't the 3 types of fractional CMOs. This is just the first things people ask for when they're thinking about hiring a fractional CMO. Number 1, they always want to know, do they have the specific industry experience? Do they know my industry? Do they know my people? Do they know the publications? Do they know the influencers? Do they know all the things going on within my industry, all of the trends, so I don't have to babysit somebody to teach them all over again? That's the number 1 thing, no matter what type of CMO or fractional CMO you're looking for. They want to know if they have that specific industry experience. Number 2, they want to know, does that fractional CMO have the proven track record of doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again for people like me? Meaning they've done it before, they'll do it again, they can point to it, they can show the results, they can show the how, the what, and the why that they did the things so someone can bring them in to do it for them again. And then the third thing they want to know, and again, this is not the type of fractional CMO, this is just the 3 things people want to know about a fractional CMO, is, can we figure out a good working relationship? Usually that's, can we come to terms on the compensation or the way that the cost model is for the company? Can we figure out the right amount of time that can be committed? Is the person available for as much as the company wants, or vice versa? So I'd say 85% of the time, this is the order in which people are asking about a fractional CMO before they're even thinking about the 3 types of fractional CMOs. So having said that, let's dive in. Let's talk about those fractional CMO types. And this is very generic, but I think is important as you look at what type of fractional CMO is going to help you get to where you need to be to help you reach your goals. So the first is called the fake fractional CMO. And I'll tell you all three and then I'll dive into them. Number one is the fake fractional CMO. I've talked a ton about it and I'll explain it a little bit more here in just a moment. Number two is the person that is being a fractional CMO as a trial basis, trying it out. And then number three is the fractional CMO forever. They want this. This is their lifestyle. This is what they see for this foreseeable future. So let's dive into that first one. I call it the fake fractional CMO. And unfortunately, just as there's a rise of the fractional CMOs, there's a huge rise of the fake fractional CMO. Let me explain what that looks like, because it's not a bad thing, and they might be able to get you to where you need to go. There is an organization that tells people you might have been a copywriter, you might have been a marketing manager, you might have been a digital marketing person, you might be a graphic designer. And if you want to win business, all you need to do and charge more, all you need to do is give yourself that fractional CMO title. Now, that sounds like a bait and switch, and it kind of is. And it's very frustrating because we see it a lot. And actually, we come in and GROW as my company, and we have a team of amazing fractional CMOs. We come in after those people have kind of shit the bed. They've gone ahead, they go ahead of their skis. They've gone too far. They jumped the shark. They're in over their head. But let me describe this a little bit, because the fake fractional CMO, again, is kind of a starter CMO. They've not really done it before. And here's why you might want to look at them. And I urge you, before you sign a contract, before you even spend a lot of time, look at their background on LinkedIn, look at their background wherever you are, and realize if, they've got the background experience that you need. Maybe they do. Maybe you need somebody with a fractional CMO title, but you just need them to build a content marketing program, or you need them to fix your demand generation, or you need them to rebuild your website or something like that. And so therefore the title doesn't matter. They're good if you have a specific need and it fits their background. They're usually going to be cheaper, even though they're raising their prices. It's still cheaper than a full-time CMO or what I'll call real fractional CMO. They may be less capable, but they might fulfill specific needs. You can probably find them on Fiverr. You can find them on Upwork. You can find them in other talent marketplaces. They're not going to necessarily come through referrals as much, and they're probably newer at the idea of the fractional CMO. So that's the first one. I'm not saying don't use them, but I'm saying know what you're getting into. Now there's a second fractional CMO model, and I called that one the fractional CMO as a trial. And this is more about the fractional CMO than it is about you. In the last 6 to 9 months, and again, my background comes in my focus is in the B2B tech world, the B2B SaaS world. There's been a lot of market correction, downsizing, elimination of a lot of marketing talent at companies. And this has hit the CMO and hit VPs of marketing pretty hard. And what people have decided to do is, as they're looking for something full-time, they're going to serve the world and make the world better by being a fractional CMO. And maybe it's something that they're doing instead of consulting, which has always been a bad word for some reason. Maybe they're really nervous about where they're going next. And the idea of working with a company as a fractional CMO on that trial basis is better for them and better for the company. Maybe they're really trying to find something to make money, and a full-time job is really hard to find as a CMO right now. So they're doing this as a fractional CMO, not necessarily with the intent of doing it forever. Now, as a company, as a CEO or a CRO, this can be this fractional CMO as a trial can be really good if you're not ready for a full-time CMO, but you kind of want to start dating someone, dating the CMO to get to know them really well, so that when you are ready, when you have another round of investment or you've reached some certain goals, that fractional CMO could easily become a full-time CMO. It's also really good if you're in a period of transition and you want to take your time to find a full-time CMO, and this person may or may not pan out, but they can definitely, fill the holes. They can definitely keep the train running. They can definitely keep the machine going while you're looking for someone else that's full-time. So there's a lot of reasons why you might want to find somebody that is really just doing fractional CMO as a trial or as an interim or as a means to an end. Then you've got the third type of fractional CMO, and I call that the fractional CMO forever. I'm one of those, although I will always tell people I'm going to be a fractional CMO until somebody, if there is a perfect CMO job out there, maybe I take it, but I really love the fractional CMO model. All the people that are a part of GROW, my company, the interim chief marketing officers or ICMOs, we are all the fractional CMOs forever. And here's what we look like. And I'll say we, even though most of the people on the team have way more experience and are way better at being a CMO than I ever will be. And that's good. We, as the fractional CMO forever, have already had, some good successes as a CMO in emerging companies, taking companies from Series A to Series C, or from Series C to an exit, or gone through the 5-year private equity investment model, or made some serious progress, leading teams, getting companies to where their revenue goals and their revenue targets and their demand generation targets need to be, building the brand. They've done it, and they've done it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. They've been a part of exits of companies where they've actually made out pretty well once or twice or 3 times. And so doing what they love is no longer for a paycheck. It's for money that they can choose how, where, and when they want to operate. And in my mind, this is the pinnacle of the pinnacle of the fractional CMOs. Not that there's anything wrong with the other models, although I do have concerns about the fake fractional CMOs. And I think that the second level, the second model of fractional CMOs as a trial, this is where we've seen such a huge uprising in the number of fractional CMOs on LinkedIn, is because there's been a lot of layoffs. And that is followed by people getting frustrated and resigning from the Great Resignation. Do you remember that Great Resignation that happened a couple of years ago, kind of pandemic inspired, frustration inspired, and people decided, screw this, I want to do something different. And then that third level, the model that I have and that my team has of the fractional CMO forever, this is really good for companies that need some major transition. They need to have somebody come in and rebuild something. They need to have somebody to come in to up level an entire marketing team. They need to have somebody to come in that has a process, has a procedure, has a methodology of how to get them from wherever this pain point is right now to the next pain point. And again, I call it the fractional CMO forever. So those are the 3 models. Those are the 3 different types of fractional CMOs. And there's a billion different ways to slice it and dice it. And there's a billion different ways to look at fractional CMOs, and every fractional CMO is different. There's not a single playbook. There are some of us, like myself, like GROW, that has a team put together and we're creating best practices. But every fractional CMO is very different. If you don't know which one is right for you, give me a call. I'll talk through it. Set up an appointment with me. Do whatever you need to do. Let's talk about it. And this is not about choosing GROW over others. This is Brett giving guidance on what might be the best output and the best plan for you based on where you need to be. It may be better for you to have that fake fractional CMO to get you what you need to have. It may be good to have a fractional CMO as a trial because you may want to consider them full time. Or you just want somebody to come in that's another adult at the table that has done this over and over again, that needs to solve a bigger problem for you. So let's talk. Let's find out what might be the best for you. That's it. That's the whole idea around the 3 different types of fractional CMOs. I'd love to hear from you what you think of this, what you think is probably the best model for you. If you're a fractional CMO, tell me what I'm missing. This is very generic, 3 types, but I think it's a good start as we're seeing a major uprising in the amount of quantity and quality of the fractional CMO model. Again, my name is Brett Schklar. I run an organization called Grow Powerful. We've assembled the greatest growth and marketing minds in all of B2B technology, and we deliver them as what I call ICMOs or interim CMOs, where we work as interim or fractional chief marketing officers. Thank you very much for your time. We hope that you follow us. We hope that you learn from us. If you liked this, give us 5 stars. If you don't like it, give us 1 star, and give me some feedback as to why. And we try to put these out every 2 weeks. Sometimes we do them every week. Sometimes we do them every 3 weeks. But we try to do things that are fun, that are informative, and also entertaining. Thanks, and have a great day.